Stampin' Buddies. It's Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. And Late Night Lori is a little later than I intended to be because it's Friday, May 16th at about 11:40-ish p.m. I apologize, I wasn't on here a little bit sooner. And let me see if I can get my device here so I can see if anybody joins me. Last night got a little late, but it went a little long. Let me turn down the volume. There we go. So now I think I'm all set. I am not sure exactly what we're going to end up making here, but we're going to at least play with a couple of the products that I unboxed yesterday. I spent this evening actually with a couple of my friends who happened to be on my team. So it's fun to just do fun things other than what we might normally craft with. We went to a painting class and we did a really cool painting. Let me see if I can get it in my camera view. It's kind of big, but let's see how it, there. I think you can see pretty much the whole thing there. It was such a fun time and they all turned out really good. So I'm just letting that dry a little bit more. But that's what we did tonight. So I was gone all evening because we went out to dinner first and then we went to the painting class and, then we kind of chit-chatted afterwards. So I'm just kind of throwing together some new things and we'll see how it turns out. So I used one of the dies from my Spotlight in Nature die set. So I will get this out of the way. That's one of my favorite die sets. And then I pulled out a piece of the Irresistible Designs 12 by 12 specialty designer series paper. And this is basically the you can see that it's like embossed on here. So we're gonna do like some resist blending on here and we'll see how that turns out. And I just have a mess here. I apologize that I'm just more messy than normal. I'm going to use the Secret C. This is a new color, new in color. So this is our 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is just a piece for the inside that I put at 4 by, so there's 4 inches here and then 5 1/4 here. So that's just ready to go. I cut a circle with the Spotlight on Nature dies that I figured could fit this rub-on wreath. And I thought I could say thanks, but I'm not sure that that's going to stand out. So I used one of my stamp or paper pumpkin add-on die sets, and this was Thanks and Beyond dies. I don't know if they're still available, but you can find a sentiment or some cutout that you already have, some die that you might already have. So that might work too. So we'll see. We'll play that by ear and see how it turns out. So like I said, I was gone most of the evening, so I haven't really planned anything out, but there were a couple of things I really wanted to play with. But these add-on dies are pretty fun. So there's a new add-on die set every quarter for Paper Pumpkin. So if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you're not eligible to purchase those, but you can be if you want to subscribe. So if you're interested in Paper Pumpkin, I've shown some of those kits over the past many weeks, and they're pretty fun. So this is one of the pieces of designer series paper in the 25 to 27 in color 6x6 pack, and I did the die cut on here. We forget a lot of times to use our paper for more than just a piece of paper for a layer. I like using my dies to cut out shapes as well. So These rub-ons, I almost missed in the annual catalog. And if you have your catalog, they're on page 124. They're down here on the bottom. So you get 8 sheets. There's 4 each of 2 designs. So you have, it seemed like there were more than that. So there's, no, that's right. So there's 2 different designs. One's gold, one is silver. And then we have this set, gold and silver. And then you get 2 of each. All right. So I'm going to use the silver just because I think that kind of works best with my color combo here. So let me get my snips. And Linda. Hello, Linda. Let me get my snips and just cut this out because that's what you do with these. And you don't have to fussy cut or anything. You just have to cut around so that you've got the design. And let's move that out of the way. And all you have to do, and let me move the catalog too, because we don't really need that in the way either. And we'll see what we do with that in a second. So all you need to do is peel off the backing, and you will see the design has the stickum on here. So we're going to just put this on our wreath, or on our circle rather, and we're going to just press it down. And my understanding is you don't even have to use a tool, you just have to rub. So we'll see. This is the first time practicing with these, so we'll see how it works. And then you peel off. I'm going to rub it a little bit more. So I wonder if I just didn't do it evenly. We'll try a couple things here. I still saw some adhesive that was sticking to the paper. So let's try this again. You peel this off and look at that, how slick that is. So it looks like you went to all the effort of embossing, but you didn't. And it looks like I didn't rub enough on a couple spots. And I'm trying to be gentle just because I don't know what it will do, but I think you could probably rub pretty substantially. It shouldn't be this hard, but there we go. And that is really pretty. I'm going to rub a little bit more there. There. That is really cool. So some of this looks like it might have not been rubbed off enough. I guess I missed some of it here. So for me, I'm thinking I probably didn't rub hard enough. Using my bone folder helped some. So this little part here where it didn't go through all the way, we can try, oh, that'll show up. That would be good. Or we can do thanks. I don't think that looks fancy enough. I think this looks probably better. So we'll put a thanks on here. And you should check these out, Linda, because they're pretty cool. I might play with another one just to see how much pressure we need. So now with this other designer series paper, I already forgot what it was called. Irresistible Design. I'm going to just cut down a layer here. And we'll do this for, I want some of the background to show. So let's do 3 3/4. And we'll do, if I was going to do 4 1/4 and I went down to 3 3/4, we'll go to 5. I'm just trying to do some math in my head. So I think that'll look pretty cool. And what I'm going to do then is, so that we can see, and I don't know if you came in here before, but you can see that it's like embossed on here. So I'm going to play with this a little bit with my Secret C and my blending brush. And we're just going to pick up some color. Because this is such a dark color, I want to make sure that I brush off a little bit so that I get that harsh color off the paper. I don't want real dark blotches on here. And I'm just going to go from darker to lighter and see if it turns out. This is really pretty. Quite pretty. We'll try that in a few of the different colors. Do it a little darker on the top. We'll just see how that goes. And then I'm just going to take a Kleenex or a tissue and I'm going to wipe off those parts that were shiny because they don't really hold the ink, because this is a water-based ink. I would need like alcohol for it to adhere to those shimmery parts or the shiny parts. And basically what we have here is a resist technique without having to do the embossing ourselves. It's already on the paper. So that's pretty slick. That is really pretty. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you can see how nice that looks. This would probably look good too if you did it like with a couple of different colors to make like an ombre sort of design. But since I didn't plan ahead, I don't have a whole lot of supplies ready to go. So then this can go there. What do you think? I kind of like it. Let's do a little bit of blending on this maybe, just to take the stark white off of it. And I'm just using the little bit of ink that's left on these bristles. And it's just going to be a very subtle color. You can kind of see where it left behind my image. I want to be careful because I don't want to bend it and I'm getting ink all over me, but ink, paint, I got paint all over my fingernail, but it was fun tonight. All right, so this will go here. We'll put that in the center. So let's just put some glue on this, I guess, because it's pretty thin to have any kind of dimensionals on here. So we'll just try to get my glue flowing. There we go. And we'll put just a little bit of glue. I'm not going all the way to the edge because I'm pretty certain part of that was hanging over. I wasn't really paying attention, but I think part of it was hanging over the edge of the die cut circle. So that's, whoops. Well, it's pretty much all on there. Put a little bit more glue here then. So this is what we call doing a card. Just cruising by in the seat of our pants. Is that how it goes? I'm going to put this up on dimensionals because I think it needs to be. And I'm going to use the black dimensionals. Oops. And I'll put quite a few around here just because they're little and my die cut is a little bit bigger. We'll put one in the middle too, why not? Oops. Lost my lid. Alright, so I should probably glue this down before I decide to put my sentiment circle on. Oh. I'm not very talkative tonight. Probably because it's almost midnight. And then we can stick this on here. And I could probably, let's take a look at the Secret C ribbon. See what that might look to put a layer of ribbon on here. I just got this yesterday, so I haven't opened it yet. So let's just cut off a length of this and see what it looks like. So if we just put some under here, we'll probably need to make it a little bit bigger. Let go. I don't know that I like that, so let me try a bow. This is pretty little, so I'll use my little bow maker here. And we'll just see how it looks. The bow's cute enough, so we'll just see how it looks on the card. Let's go ahead and put this down. Oh, I think that's kind of cute. Kind of cute. I probably could have put this a little higher up. Let's see if we can scooch that up just a little bit. That one last dimensional doesn't want to let go. There we go. We'll just put that up a little bit higher. Put a glue dot on here. And this is stiff enough ribbon that I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of glue dots kind of on the side too. I'll just tuck this over here. And then this, I will probably find maybe something similar to this to put in here. Or maybe I could cut a couple of strips and maybe put strips on the end. So I'm not going to glue that down yet because I might actually cut it down a little bit and use that as a layer. So that'll be that. Let's see about getting some embellishments on here. See what works. I think these would probably look good because of that. Sometimes I color them with my alcohol blends, but I think because I've got the silver from the rub-on, and that is really cool. Since I've got the silver from the rub-on, I'm going to go ahead and just use the rhinestones. So let's just put a few of these on here randomly. And these rhinestones come in 3 graduated sizes. So I hope they're still available, the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So I kind of like it. Just a quickie thrown together card. I'm going to make this narrower. I don't like how wide that is. I'm going to cut it down to be more this size so there's more border there. I have some of these pieces cut ahead of time so that I can just pull them out of my stack. So let's just see. So that was 3 3/4. So we'll go 3 3/4 by 5. And that will carry through that look from the front to the inside a little bit. And then I think if we do some blending, here we go. I lost my little backdrop piece there for a minute. Let's get a little bit more ink on here. And then what I'll do for the envelope flap is cut another piece of this and do the resist technique on there and attach that to my envelope flap. I think that'll be good. And I think I got this probably a little darker than I intended. But I think it'll be okay. We won't know until it's in the card. And basically what I'm doing is kind of framing this out. So whatever I put on here, if it's a sentiment, it'll kind of be framed by what I have there. Okay. So this will go in here. I still think I might want to find a foliage piece that's similar to this and stamp that inside. But that's our card. Rub-Ons. And I forgot the name of this paper again already. Irresistible Designs. I used my Secret C. And this thanks was actually from this ephemera pack. Saying something ephemera pack. So that was out of the bigger pieces at the back. So there was a thanks there. So I didn't even have to die cut that. I just took it out of the pack. And then I put a little ink on that with my blending brush. And the bow with the new faux linen ribbon. So that's what I have for you tonight. Thanks for stopping in live with me, Linda. And until next time, happy crafting.